Like everything should be a dip, sideways and up. I mean, straight up, sideways and up now, or dips are reverse like that. They're not going to take a long time, chop about, fucking end up going back down. So the trend's changed to, more of a breakout bull market price action until we find the current leg top, which I think this leg top is going to be somewhere in between here. So none of that plan has changed since saying, oh, we're going to 90K, get a deviation, and then now we're targeting 112, 110, 120K or whatever. Like, none of that plan's changed. It's just the little in between, which will be a common thing for me to change frequently. And I might even post one thing and then change it fucking an hour later. That's another thing I wanted to just address in this video instead of type out. But we've been following the plan pretty much to a T so far. We did, end up, I was saying around here, we're either going to chop between these kind of two levels here, or we're going to get a pullback into here. That will end up going up to here, and then we'll break out. So we kind of got a mixture there where we pulled back. We didn't quite pull back all the way, but we pulled back into demand in here. So it was a good area. Not necessarily an area that I would have longed. I would have rather have longed something that was maybe a sweep here and a tap in. That's what I would have liked to long, and that's what I was looking for, hopefully, to actually long myself down here. Otherwise, yeah, the trade to me was long 102.5 breakout, which I have currently done because I noticed price was around 103, so I just opened the exchange and longed. But we didn't consolidate as much here as I would have liked. We only have this bit of consolidation. So before we broke out, I would have liked to see a day and a half to 2 days of consolidation, whereas we kind of just got a pullback and straight up. I wanted to see some consolidation here before breaking out. And because this dip didn't come down here and consolidate, and that's part of the change in structure, right? Like if this wanted to be range bound environment still, this would have came down here and consolidated and then broke out, and then you can go up and trade that back up into here and then consolidate, boom. Well, the character kind of ended up changing here within the leg instead of changing once we broke out. So because of that, right now, this is your basically last period of decent consolidation batch, right? So with every consolidation batch, when you play a range breakout, because essentially all this is a low time frame range breakout, right? If we were to go down to the 30-minute and look at this is your range, your high, your low, your mid, right? And you can see support. This is like your quarter area, but resistance. So you have your mid range, and then you have your low and high, right? I was looking for basically another consolidation batch of similar size to this prior to us breaking out here. So because we don't have any substantial consolidation and we have more so just a leg of PA, what that means is we're likely to now see a pullback or correction, or we'll see some consolidation. Now, the reason I was posting this earlier and might have seemed like I was in a little bit of a panic is because Bitcoin dominance had a strong 12-hour candle print at the time, and we're not, as much as I bear posted this the other day, this technically actually hasn't locked. I figured it would lock with that candle here and the rejection here, and now we have an actual lower high on the 3-day here. But technically this doesn't lock this when this candle, if this candle closes like this, that'll invalidate that lock, meaning it now has potential to go up. Whereas if this was a subsequent red candle or even a doji candle for that matter, it would end up going ahead and probably rolling over. So there is potential for Bitcoin dominance right now to still have another impulse. It's less likely than earlier because if this candle printed this way, that would have set up. Wait, the daily candle has nothing. Okay, earlier the daily candle had a print too. I don't know if TradingView is bugging right now. If there's supposed to be a wick there or not. Because it's on the 4-hour, 12-hour, but not on the daily. So the daily might be bugged. Because I could have sworn I looked at this earlier. And with that having a strong print too, it was likely to be one of those things where it could go up to say here and then go down. And then that would have made this Bitcoin pullback a little bit bloody on alts. Because, I mean, up until basically the past hour when Bitcoin dominance, has done this on the 4-hour chart. I don't know, you guys might not been paying attention to this, but a lot of alts were getting liquidity sucked out. And by that is what I mean. Bitcoin was going up and alts were flat or going down at the time. Even though they were green from overnight. But with this climbing, that changed, and liquidity started falling out of alts into Bitcoin, and that could have been the scenario where we have another leg up here, and just didn't want anyone over leveraging alts. So the low time frame plan has kind of changed a bit as far as direction hasn't changed. 110 to 120k. I'm looking for, gonna look for distribution up here to end up trading back down into here before it does another leg higher after that, right? Wherever this top ends up being. We're at least looking for 3 drives right now. Given how much time is left in the market, it can do 4. It can only do, but we're gonna do a minimum of 3 in my opinion, because this needs to trade higher right here if we're to last into a bull market until April. So now why is it that I have these levels here instead of just the one level? Is because of that lack of consolidation here. So this is something I don't really think it gets taught a lot, and something I started trying to interpret and pay attention to, because it was something I started noticing within the past few months, is there's times and places where I change where I consider actual true resistance, right? So, I don't think this is really taught, and sometimes it's a confusion on why do people put resistance here but not here, and why here but not here. But essentially, right? We're on the daily chart here. This area, right, was your true range high resistance here. It's like Bitcoin since November has been in this range, right? Every time it came up, it had the likelihood to sell back into 90 because we got close here, we got close here, we got close here, we tapped in here, we tapped in here. This is close, and if you end up taking a tool like this and you do, instead of so now these are quarters, right? Range quarters. The precipice of that goes back to here, where, okay, this is the reason why this is your true range of the price that we've been trading in, and now we're breaking out of that range. Because if you look, this is just a quarter level. This is just a quarter level interaction. This is just a quarter level interaction, quarter level interaction, quarter level interaction, right? And if you want to even try and validate it further on why that's your fixed range instead of maybe this being, say, this being your range, right? Is due to the fact that Where is the tool? There we go. If you were to look at this, a range, the reason the middle works in a range a lot is because it tends to be the highest volume area. That's why you'll see choppiness PA instead of rejection kind of deal. You'll see choppy PA around mid ranges, and that's because it's the highest volume traded area. So that's what these tools kind of do. That's kind of what VPVR shows you. It shows you your sort of inflection points, right? Inflection points tend to be your high volume areas because your inflection points are your up or down levels. Hey, what's your up or down level, right? Okay, if we break above this, it's up. If we break below this, it's down. As long as we're trading here, there's no direction, right? So these are your quarters. So with that, trend is now changed, right? So I look at that as a way the resistance is here because ultimately, until we break out of here, we're stuck between these two levels. You know, this was a sign where if we did go ahead and flip here, this was likely to break. Hence, hence why I had it where as soon as we started flipping 90K, I was expecting us to range here because this is where I wanted the consolidation prior to us breaking. And once we'd flipped 90, if we consolidated or went, flipping 90 and getting a close above 90 on this PA right here was the first telltale sign that we're at least going higher and breaking out of here, which would be the breakout of character. But so this was a resistance that's changing the dynamic, right? Now we have the resistance that's going to be flipped to support. So it's a different type of resistance, right? Well, this was the resistance I wanted to flip as support in order to get the consolidation batch to end up pushing higher, right? Otherwise, I had come up to 102, reject back down to 96 and go up, right? So what that means is this is now your sort of max drawdown support level here, which is why I have the lower level now as a play instead of we need to hold 92, right? Basically 100 here, right? So our pullbacks, right? This is steep pullback scenario from here. If we get one before 120K, this is shallow pullback scenario. If we get before, the leg up that we're expecting, at least I'm expecting, right? So that's the precipice of it. Do you guys have any questions, and did that explanation make sense? Or yes, no? I don't know if you guys are talking anywhere that I'm not looking at. Is this thing on? Okay. Quiet crowd. Even Trey hasn't typed. Or Justy. That's wild.
What?
There you are.
I'm here listening.
Yeah. Nothing. I'm done. I was just wondering if anyone had questions and if it made sense what I was saying.
I expect a sweep low of
Fuck, my head
96K area again though.
All right, go ahead.
During the Trump's office hours, like I expect a smart money cash out. So sell the news event, sweep low of 96, 95K area once again, and we're ready to descend. That's my bias.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of this right now, chart wise. I don't have like a reason to be bearish here, but I offloaded all my fucking longs from ever since all the longs that I've taken on this entire leg. Like I've offloaded them today. And I mean, you can make a bearish argument, but the way like my charting style is, this in theory should go to here as long as we're above here now. But because of the Inog day, Monday, I closed everything because I don't want to wake up to fucking shit down here on Tuesday since markets closed Monday too. So yeah, no, I agree. It's very possible we pull back. I just don't think Bitcoin now has like it in order for us to actually go to make a higher high. This is now our area of defense here. This area of defense gets lost. I mean, sure, it can fucking wick into here, but candle closure basis can't have a daily one below there now. All right. Well, that's it.